This is Rob Sacco, Rob Robin on most of the watch boards. I realized that after looking through a few of my watches recently that I hadn't done a video on the GMT II Ceramic. And it's changed from the original, the 16710. They added a 1 to the front of it, to the number anyways. So it's 116710. LN. The LN stands for Lunette Noire, which is pretty much French for black bezel. The bezel on these new watches, and this was the first innovation, is ceramic. The old ones were, I think, made out of spun aluminum. These are a little more resilient. They can crack and shatter, but as far as scratching is concerned, they're much more resilient. So around 2005, the gold models of this watch were introduced. And then in 2007, at the Basel Fair, they introduced this one, which is a stainless steel version of the GMT Master II. So besides the ceramic bezel insert, the other innovation to this watch, which they had introduced in the sub already, is the maxi dial. So the markers on the dial and the hands are much larger than the original watch. And the 24-hour hand is now green with white at the end of it. So the other thing they introduced on the watch was giving anti-reflective glare coating to the magnifier on the date. Something they didn't do before. When you look at the bracelet, you can tell it's a little more substantial than the original. It's pretty much the same size and everything. Same dimension here from lug to lug. The big difference is the clasp. And the clasp itself is made out of a solid chunk of steel versus the formed clasp that was on the other GMT. So it is much more substantial, it's very solid, and also includes a quick and easy to use summer to winter extension, which folds over when go like that if you want to make it smaller, and you pop it back up, if you want to make it bigger. So your hand swells up or your wrist swells up in the summertime, and the watch gets a little tight on your wrist. The other thing that you can notice fairly quickly, it looks like it's a bigger watch, but it really measures the same at 40 millimeter, but it has a much chunkier case. I don't know if they call it the super case or blocked case, but the new Submariner went to this case just recently. And so they introduced this in 2005 on the solid gold anniversary models, and then a year later on the gold and stainless watches. What else can I tell you about this? Oh, I know. If you look at the watch, the other thing that's pretty evident fairly quickly is that the center links are now polished. It makes it a little more dressier. I don't know if I like it. They get scratched more easily. The high polished areas always seem a little softer, but it does give it a dressier look like the Daytona. And the sub didn't do that. They still stuck with the brushed center links. The whole thing is brushed. And the lugs are brushed like the case are now, if you can see. They're brushed like the bracelet is. Before, the lugs were brushed in a different direction than the links on the bracelet. And now they're all brushed the same. So it's another interesting addition. Well, it's a nice change to the watch. It makes it a little bit more substantial. It does look a little dressier and classier. The ceramic bezel is reflective, so it kind of shines on your wrist. Case is a little thicker. The bracelet is definitely better. The links are the same size, so the old links will actually fit on this bracelet. Okay, well, I'm going to post this a little later today. And you guys have a good day. Thanks.